Hello again, everybody. It's Takedown, coast to coast, border to border, and all those ships at sea. This time we're heading to the Desert High. We're going out to Arizona. Well, that's where our guest is intended to go, but right now he's in Wyoming, still packing up. Is Chris Pendleton. He joins us now. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing good, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Hey, congratulations on the years at Wyoming. Was it 4 or 5?
I was going into my fifth year.
Going into the 5th year.
hmm
And you weren't actively looking, but Zeke Jones came calling and said, "Hey, I'd sure like you to consider the position of head assistant coach at Arizona State." Or did that conversation happen that way?
Yeah, it kind of happened at the U.S. Open. He kind of had it came out that he was taking that job, and we had kind of talked about it for a little bit, but we didn't really get to kind of finalize anything till a couple weeks ago. Not like probably like 10 days ago. So it's been a pretty big whirlwind on accepting the job, getting everything kind of tied off on this end, and getting ready to start my new life in Tempe.
You've been with Mark Branch for a long, long time. We go back to, what is it, 2000 with Branch?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a
yeah.
long time, dude. And I know your friendships in the sport of wrestling run deep. Just because you're not going to be working there doesn't mean that you won't be friends. But is it a difficult move for you in that regard emotionally?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been very fortunate to have to be coach and train, work under John Smith, and then kind of come out here and get everything kind of was still the same system, same beliefs, everything, and get to work under Mark for 4 years, where I was working with Mark Branch and Ethan Kyle. Ethan and I were on four NCAA championship teams together, so it's a really comfortable, safe environment that helped me grow as a coach and as a person. So it's kind of new going in and working with people that I've never really worked with before.
We're talking with Chris Pendleton. He's still active on the U.S. freestyle scene. We'll talk about his last bout and how special that was with well, a guy who desperately wanted to turn around and put his shoes back on the feet, and you gave him back on the mat, and you gave him that opportunity to do so. I thought that was a very cool and kind gesture, but it's one of the most thought of moments in our sport when you do that. You take your shoes off and put them in the middle of the mat. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we also want to recognize your NCAA titles, 2 of them, and they came at the hands of one Ben Askren. What is your relationship like these days with Ben Askren, or is there one?
There's not a relationship. I don't really think he's fond of me, and I don't really care to spend time with him. I do respect him and follow what he does for the sport of wrestling. I mean, he's one of the guys that he walks the walk, that he talks the talk. I mean, he actually is active in helping out the youth, and it's very respectable. I think he's got a persona that's not really, that doesn't really show the real guy that he is.
You think it's
He just likes to
intentional?
talk. Huh?
Do you think that's intentional?
I think I've got to spend time with guys like Josh Koscheck and Chael Sonnen, and I think it's very thought out on getting attention their way, and I think it's a smart move. So I'm not going to argue with it.
So heat bearing, perhaps, is that which is what they're looking for. They're looking to get some heat, perhaps
Yeah,
sell a few more
that's
tickets.
a catchword. Heat, heat.
It is heat. It is heat. Johnny Henderson, Hendrickson. Why am I having a tough time saying this? Johnny Henderson, Johnny Hendrickson. Who am I trying to say?
Johnny Hendricks.
Johnny Hendricks. Thank you. I just was blanking in my mind. Big rig. Johnny Hendricks does not. He's probably in the same position you are. As a matter of fact, if you wrestled for Oklahoma State at all over the last century, you probably don't like Ben Askren.
You know what?
Ben Askren would like to wrestle or fight. Better yet, Johnny. I've got to ask you. I mean, your buddies with Johnny and all those guys around that era. How do you think that fight would go, knowing these two guys as well as you do wrestle for wrestle, but also throw in the element of MMA?
Johnny is one of my oldest friends, and he's the UFC champion of the world. I don't know if Ben's beat anybody in the top 15. I really haven't followed his career. I would just say that I've watched almost every one of Johnny's fights he's had, and I wouldn't want him to hit me.
There were some people who were thinking perhaps that you were going to go into MMA. Had you thought about it seriously? I mean, most of those guys, Johnny and Jake and all those guys, signed their pro contracts on my show. And I'm wondering at the time, where's Pendleton? I mean, you have all the tools, but you got a pretty face.
No, that's the main reason. Coaching is my passion. It's what I enjoy. I love going out and rolling around with those guys whenever they ask me to, and I love the sport of MMA. But coaching is my passion.
So the passion, and it still has, as an assistant coach, the ability to go hand in hand with competition. The U.S. freestyle scene would not be what it is today without you in it. In April, you competed in the A6 Las Vegas Open at 97 kilos. Is that correct?
Yeah, it didn't really go my way. I wrestled at 97 kilos, and in one of my matches, I ended up tearing a ligament in my ankle, and it just kind of ended my freestyle season. It was pretty disappointing after having a good run last year. I'm just really blessed to be able to keep competing at a high level at my age. So,
you were able to, on the other hand, wrestle Daniel Cormier in a bout in Las Vegas, and I thought, again, this is if I'm going to go out, I know this is going to be my final career bout as a wrestler. I'm going to want to wrestle somebody I like, and it's obvious there's an appreciation between the two of you guys. So talk to us about that final match for him.
Well, Daniel actually was like an older brother to me at Oklahoma State, and he was somebody that really kind of helped me out a lot when I was coming up and becoming an All-American and national champion. I remember I would go over to his house, play video games, get my hair cut, and he always had a lot of positive things to say. And then that first year out of college, or first couple years out of college, when you get on that freestyle scene, it's changed so much the last couple of years. I mean, with all the opportunities there are for kids now to, be able to support themselves and train and wrestle. When I came out, there really wasn't that many opportunities. So, I was scraping by, and there was a lot of times that, we'd just be hanging out, and he could tell, something was weighing heavy on my shoulders, and he'd be like, do you need me to help you out a little bit this month? And he would do stuff like that for me. And it's something that I'll never forget in my life. So just being able to go out there and give him one last match, that's a small thing for me.
You get a little emotional talking about your close friends, don't you?
I don't know if I'd call it emotional, but I am very proud of what Daniel does, and I'm very thankful for what he did for me.
And I like that about you. That's cool, dude. That's very cool. Now, others have as well. By the way, finishing up on Daniel, does he beat John Jones?
I know one thing, that I never, ever bet against Daniel Cormier, because he might be one of the most gifted and unique athletes I've ever seen in my life. And every time I've watched him in the UFC, it's like every time he comes out there, he just gets better and better. And John Jones is one of the, pound for pound greatest fighters in the world. And, I'm going to help Daniel every way I can to get ready to beat him.
That's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of heat going on there between those two. Another use of that word, heat. And even some dislike. So I think Daniel would probably like to put it to bed once and for all. Do you think Daniel's undersized, or does he make up for it in other ways?
Daniel undersized at 205.
I'm not saying weight wise. I'm saying height wise.
No, because I think he's always wrestled people that are longer, people that are taller, and even when he was fighting at heavyweight, you know, those guys like Bigfoot Silva. I mean, look at his reach and wingspan.
Amazing.
And Daniel picked him apart.
Yeah.
I don't see it being a huge issue. Hopefully.
Yeah, my money, all of it is going to be on Daniel Cormier. Period. Take it to the bank.
Always go with the wrestlers.
You specialized at Wyoming in wrestling and training with some of their best. Obviously, that'll be some of your obligation when you head to Arizona State to work with Zeke Jones. What will other obligations be now put on your plate there?
Well, you know, we're trying to build something special out west and in the desert. Not only am I going to have to work with the ASU upperweights, but we're also building, you know, a regional training center at the with Sunkiss that we want to be able to have a bunch of high-level opportunities for people to come out and train.
There's a lot of folks that really appreciate your work ethic. And I'm going to quote something here that Zeke said, if I can find my quote. Where's it at? Well, I'll paraphrase that he brings, no, here it is. He brings a wealth of national and world-class experience to our program and has had great success in helping wrestlers get on the podium. You know what that's like. You know how special it is. You're not afraid to push that young man that much further, even if he may not even know what you're doing or why, but to help him get to that point, to be ready for that championship match, to know that you've put everything in and what you're bringing out is the best. You're not afraid of taking kids to their potential.
No, one of the things that just helped me grow as a coach at Wyoming was teaching them how to win, teaching them that belief system that if they do things the right way, they won't regret it. You know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, I don't like looking at just results at the end of the year. I like looking at the work that you're actually going to put in on a day-to-day basis. And if you really, I mean, I always preach to our guys, I'm like, at the end of the year, you're not going to look back when you're going to walk out through that tunnel into the NCAA tournament and say, man, I wish I hadn't done so much. You're always going to wonder about what you didn't do. I was like, so the best feeling in the world is going out there saying, I'm prepared, I'm ready to go.
It's not too far from Lemoore High School, is it?
No, this is actually the closest I'm going to be to Lemoore in 15 years, and I'm very excited. I have two nephews that are young, and I'm excited to be able to get to see them, get to see my family. I'm already reconnecting with a lot of old friends in California, so I'm very excited to be back west.
Do you, I mean, you've got a lot of memories there at Lemoore. Did both your brothers, Willie and Jacob, did they both wrestle there?
Yes, they did. They did.
And I guess, you know, you look back at those formative years, and Lemoore is one of those schools that can absolutely bring it. And you're still on the boards in many cases out there as far as records goes and things like that.
Yeah. We had a stud come out, Isaiah Martinez. Yeah. He's at the University of Illinois, and I'm very excited to see what he's going to do next year. He kind of just demolished all my records. So.
He knows how to eat pizza, Isaiah does. Dude stole some of my pizza.
Yeah.
True story. All right, well, here's the deal. I really like to give you the opportunity to thank those that you're around, those in your life, those that have been following and supporting you emotionally, financially, whatever that support, whatever form that's come in. But it's an opportunity for you to just go on record and give them thanks. I don't think we do this enough in the sport. You know, thank each other for helping me achieve whatever. But if I did give you that chance, who would those people be?
You know, I'd start off with Mark Branch for bringing me out here and kind of helping form my coaching philosophy and helping me grow. John, obviously, and I mean, there's so many people. Martin Goebbels, He's one of my good friends here. He's been really helping me out. He actually had one of the best quotes I've heard about Wyoming. This state might have the smallest population, but it has the highest quality of people. And it's been extremely hard the last week talking to people, thanking them for what they've done. And, it's going to be really hard to leave. And the only reason it's really hard to leave is the people. I mean, they're just good people out here. And, it's hard, but it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up at Arizona State. I'm so excited to get to work. I'm ready to start building something special out in the desert. And, I'm really just excited about the opportunity.
Well, you got your car problems all taken care of?
Do I got my what?
Car problems all taken care of?
Yeah. It was like a monsoon of like good fortune, just a lot of headaches. 2 cars in like 2 days went down. So, yep, got it all squared away. It's actually kind of weird because I bought a truck after I leave Wyoming, so I'm not really sure what I was thinking on that one. I know what I was thinking. I can't borrow Ethan Kyle's truck anymore.
Ethan's probably happy with this now. He's probably really happy.
Yeah.
What about Abby? How supportive has your longtime girlfriend Abby been? You met her clear back at Oklahoma State.
My fiance.
A fiance. I'm sorry. Well, she's still your girlfriend, right?
She's very supportive of everything I do. She's very excited about the opportunity because she does Native American law, so it gives us both the chance and opportunity to pursue our careers. And we're just very, very excited and feel very fortunate to have the opportunity.
In closing, I would like you just to touch base on a young man who encountered some extreme hardship while you were coaching there, wrestled for you, fine young man, good kid.
Michael.
Say it again.
Michael?
Yeah. So, and can you get us an update?
Michael Martinez is doing, as far as I know, he's doing very well. I actually heard that he actually just got engaged. He might actually have gotten married.
Wow.
Michael's probably one of the most unique wrestlers I've ever been around. I've never met a tougher human being in my life. Everybody, knows about the story of, his accident and road to recovery, but the guy never got down on himself. He's about the most even keel, tough guy that there is, and he was a special person to coach. He probably might be the only athlete I've ever seen branch a little timid around. He actually had a broken back for half of his career at Wyoming. He had a fractured vertebrae. He had to wear this little contraption under his singlet. And we always knew as coaches that we had to give him time off. But he was such a hard worker that he wouldn't want time off. And you would see him, grimacing in pain, and it'd be like the coaches would all kind of huddle up, and it's like, all right, who's going to go tell Michael that he's off the mat today? It's like, I don't want to tell him.
Yeah, he's a feisty fella, too. And boy, absolutely loves to wrestle.
Yeah, he is not scared of anyone. There was a couple times in playing handball and stuff in the room where he was like, kind of talking a little smack to me. I'm like, come on, you're a 25 pounder. And then I was like, actually, I don't really want a piece of him. So
they're the ones who bite deepest, I think, don't they? The 25 pounders. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Pendleton, always good to talk to you. So I'm really proud of the guy you've become as a coach. You've grown so much. Competition-wise, we're still going to see you challenging, right?
Yeah, I'm just getting healed up, and once I get to Arizona, I'll actually probably start getting back into a training cycle and wrestling around with the guys, learning, meeting the new strength and conditioning coach, seeing all the facilities. I mean, I'm just trying to take one thing at a time so I don't get too overwhelmed.
Well, partner, get repacked up. Don't forget, send us an invite to the wedding. We may not be able to be there, but we do send towels.
Okay, we'll do.
There's not a wrestler in the world that wouldn't like a brand new towel. You know what I'm saying? They smell so
Gotcha.
good. Hey, listen, congratulations, Chris. We'll look forward to seeing you at Arizona State. Good job out of you. Appreciate the time today.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
You bet. That's Chris Pendleton. I'm Scott Casper. He's heading to Arizona State to coach with Zeke Jones. We'll be back.